Hi everyone, today is July the 17th. My name is Anne-Marie Band and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. Taking a look at SPY, we can see that it's topped out at that 365 yesterday. Remember, we want to look at 2 to 3 candlesticks in the rotation to see where we are and where stops and bounces might come from. And you can see that we bounced right off of this 558.90-ish area and now trying to hold the low of 2 days ago, which sort of matches the close of 3 days ago. And so we're dancing in this range overall with the beige book this afternoon, and I think we've got two big numbers that are going to affect us. Let me peek at those once again. Housing starts and then industrial production. Those might move us just a little bit. We ought to see what's going on easily in terms of price, but my suspicion is we've got still a bullish formation, but we are in a mean reversion, and so that mean reversion could pull us right back into 555 as we dance around into the Fed meeting. This area right here is the range that we're looking at, and so we could fill in this tiny gap all the way down here because we broke out of the range off of 551 and then went all the way into 565 almost, or maybe we did breach 565. Yes, we did. And now we could rotate into the narrow volume area back at 551. My thought is this: if we cannot, in the broad market action, the first 30 minutes of the day, get above this area at 560, we are likely to rotate down into 555 and then potentially 551 into the end of the week. Oh, because I don't think it's going to go upside. I totally forgot about that. All right, so what if it does hold here? Where should we go from this 559 area? We should head right back up into 561.50 and then 564. I just don't see it happening. That's just my thought. If I am wrong and we get up over this edge, remember, it could run very hard if people are short here, and that move upward could take us into 570. All right, let's get to the Qs. Qs are seeing a little bit more rotation than the SPY, and of course that's because we're moving into other areas in the market, like the IWM, like the diamonds, like, those sorts of places. We'll peek at them very quickly. But you can see this rotation. This is the initial breakout. My suspicion is that the pullback into 486 and potentially the point of control is what we're after right now. You can see that we had one big move down from the high off of 505, the bounce into a lower high, and then the loss of frontline support. So this is the kind of thing that says, hey, listen, if I fail to hold higher, I pull back, and then I bounce and fail to hold higher again, that loss is the area that brings me in short. So this is still in short rotation. It's just come into an area of frontline support, and we are breaking it. And so my thought is that we continue to break it and we come down into the 486 and then potentially 479 to 478 area in the rotation. You can see that price by trend is very flat, so the traders are arguing what direction they should go in. The whole trend is upside, so at the first pass into any support, you want to try and buy it. If it does not hold, you get out immediately. All right, upside pressure puts us back to the top of 497. If we can hold it, Otherwise, I think the top is very likely 495 today. All right, let's take a look at the ES. Same sort of thing, a general rotation down, opening off of the pre-market, coming into this frontline support area that I drew yesterday. That's 5660. And it's trying to bounce. Now, why is it trying to bounce there? Well, one, it's old support and congestion. It's the it's a close of this candlestick right here, which is 5667. And we have bullish trend. And so whenever we come into previous support, we're going to buy that edge, and then it's going to pop up. 5688 looks to be that high, 5690. There's the VWAP all the way up there. So this VWAP is negative trending. If we continue down, as I suspect, 5629 to 5606 to the value area high, which is 5587. Those are the areas to the downside pressure that I see. Notice, if we look on a 2-hour formation, we can see that the dips, this is a value area for the small zone, and this is the point of control, but you can see this old support trying to come in. They're really trying to hold it. So the goal is the traders, the buyers, are going to try and bounce off of this range, and then if they can hold it, they'll move back up into all the heavy congestion. I don't like that 2-hour formation at all. I don't think anybody watches it. So we've talked about that. Let's go to the NQ. Same sort of thing. You'd see this mean reversion a little bit worse because they were doing so well in the beginning, and now they are rotating backwards. Again, this is a bullish formation, so they're going to try and bounce it off of this edge, this 300 edge. And so far, not doing a great job. But this is the old high, and you can see that it's matching the low of the morning, right? What is that low? 20,259.75. 20,259. All right, and so they're going to try and bounce it off that edge. The bounces should give us sell zones. This is my thought here. And so where should we rotate? I think here into this value area. Into the point of control and the VWAP. Right? All of this right here, heavy congestion, this is where I think the chart is going to come into. That's just my thought. Now, it could be that it bounces right off of this. So what is the trade? The trade is the failed bounce to give us the short, or trying the long right here at the 259 zone. It's already 50 points off of that edge almost, so you want to be careful trying to trade right there. Let it get up over this low here, which is 20,335. It's, it's weak if it can't get above that area. Okay, let's take a look at the YM. You can see these things are just blistering forward, right? Let me put this on a weekly formation so you can see what's going on with this. It just, you could see sector rotation. This is what it looks like. It's moving out of those broad indices that have been doing so well, the heavy hitters, where things have been really concentrated in a group of stocks, and rotating back into value and really the strength of the US market that has been normally thought of. And so this is continuing to rise. Where's the next area? 41,805. Listen, this rotation is moving very quickly, and when moves come the way these moves come, they usually have a tendency to reverse. And so let me see what this high is. 39,450. What? High of this candle. 40,572, excuse me. We'll leave it right there. Okay, so running like the wind, absolutely running like the wind. 4-hour chart tells us that everything's pulling back just a little bit this morning, but this is definitely by the dip. Yesterday's VWAP event is 40,941, and the value area high here on this chart is somewhere near the prior high of the day. And yeah, that's really what we want to look for an ideal bounce, because the volume's been fairly shallow. I'm not sure why this is printing like this. It just looks dreadful. I don't know what's going on here. Let me see if I can do. Let me see if that's doing it. Maybe that's the one I need to be looking at. It's just very bizarre. All right. That being said, pullbacks are buy zones, and remove all annotations. Yes, pullbacks are buy zones, and we're going to see something that is going to give us a lot more upside pressure if it continues. Now, let's take a look at the things that are really running. It's this RTY. Oh wow, look at that. Stopped at the 78.6. That's 22.86. Listen, pullbacks are buy zones. They're still invested in here. I'm just concerned about the speed of this rotation. It just feels very strange. And because of that, I'm very cautious as to just rushing in and buying. And of course, that caution costs me from adding to any positions that I normally have, and which is kind of sucky. But 2342 is the next upside pressure event, but 2206 is the next support zone. Let me look at the IWM. Also moving very quickly today. A little bit of a pullback. Everything's pulling back just a little bit today. Things need to take a little breath. They've just been, look at the speed. It's, I mean, straight up, and that's not normal. So we have to be, when things aren't normal, we have to go, what might be happening here? All right, let's take a look at oil very quickly. Oil, look at that. Man, right off of the 80 zone, back to 81.50. Beautiful formations. What's going to happen here? We have an oil in EIA report, but I still suspect it bounces even if this shows a draw, right? Which is very bullish. If it shows a draw, I still think we bounce and fade. And so I'm going to let it get the bounce, but this first pass here, I like as a short. And if it can't get past that first line of heavy congestion, 20 cents below, I'll cover it and then think about looking to the long side. All right, lastly, we'll take a look at gold. Also running off the rails. 2450 was the area I really thought it would take a breath from. Blew right through it. So the next one is 2510, and that is a major line in the sand forest. Pullbacks are buy zones. Yeah, let me see what the dollar looks like here. It's a trading view. Let's see. See what's going on here today. Aha. All right. So the dollar breaking trend, and that is forcing gold to the upside. Maybe the dollar comes in to 102.67. We'll see what happens there. All right. But that is one of the main reasons that I think that gold is continuing to run. All right. Hey, listen, that's it for me. For those of us that belong to Benzinga Pro, we'll be sitting there and doing the midday report. And I'll see you on the platforms. Take care.